All right, let's jump right in. You've heard the phrase act fast your whole life. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Just move quickly. But what if I told you that inside that simple phrase are two completely different, super powerful models for how the world works? One from the insane pace of modern marketing, and the other, well, it's from the inner workings of your own brain.
So that leads us to the big question here. What in the world is the ACT FAST model? And believe me, the answer is a whole lot weirder and more interesting than you're probably expecting.
And here is the big twist right up front. ACT FAST isn't one thing, it's two. On the left, you've got a playbook for high-speed marketing. And on the right, that's a map your brain uses to figure out what other people are about to do. We're talking two totally separate worlds using the exact same name. Is that just a crazy coincidence, or is there something deeper connecting them? Let's dig in.
Okay, so first, let's talk about the world of business. This is a place where moving fast isn't just a nice-to-have, it's literally about survival.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the brutal reality of today. If you hesitate, you're toast. A small delay can be the difference between being Netflix or being Blockbuster. The stakes couldn't be higher. And this is just a perfect example of that principle in action. Back in 2017, something big happened on the world stage. And Airbnb didn't sit around in meetings for weeks. Nope. In just a couple of days, they came up with, created, and launched a massive campaign, including a Super Bowl ad, all built around their core values. It was unbelievably fast. So how'd they pull it off?
Well, they used a framework just like this one. This is a blueprint for being fast and smart, not just chaotic. You start by aligning on your purpose. That way, nobody wastes time arguing about the direction. Then, and this is huge, you've got to trust your instincts. Analysis paralysis is the #1 killer of speed. You find the right format, act with a simple message that people can actually hear, and most importantly, you empower your team to make decisions and go. It's about building a whole culture of moving fast, not just following a to-do list.
So, the bottom line is this. Not acting fast is incredibly expensive. Your competitors will eat your lunch, you'll leave money on the table, and your brand can start to look old and out of touch. In this day and age, standing still is one of the riskiest things you can do.
Okay, now buckle up. We're going to take a hard left turn here. We're leaving the boardroom behind, and we're heading straight into the brain. From business strategy to brain science. I know it seems like a huge jump, but just stick with me on this. So, before we can even talk about the brain's act fast model, you need to know about this concept, theory of mind. It's a fancy term for something we all do every second of every day. It's our built-in ability to guess what's going on in other people's heads. It's how we navigate every single social situation, from ordering coffee to a job interview. It's basically our social superpower. And this is where it gets really mind-bending. Your brain isn't just passively watching what people do. It is constantly running simulations, mapping behaviors onto this complex mental grid to predict what someone is going to do next. We do it so automatically, we don't even realize it's happening. And according to the neuroscience, this is the map your brain is using. It's the brain's very own ACT-FAST model. It sorts every action it sees along these 6 dimensions. So for abstraction, it's asking, is this a symbolic act, like voting, or a concrete one, like literally building a chair? Creation, is this person making something or breaking something? Tradition, is this a normal, conventional thing to do, or is it totally new and weird? And it even tracks really basic stuff, like food relevance, animacy, does it involve other living things, and even spiritualism. It's this incredibly rich internal framework we use to make sense of the world and each other.
So, we've got 2 models. One's for launching a Super Bowl ad in 72 hours. The other is for figuring out why your friend seems upset. I mean, they seem like they're from different planets, right? But what if they're not?
And here it is. This is the big reveal. The single powerful idea that connects a marketing playbook to the deepest parts of our social brain is prediction. At their core, both of these act-fast models are just really sophisticated prediction machines.
Let's just look at it side by side. The marketing model is trying to predict how the market will respond to something. The brain's model is trying to predict how another human being is going to act. The goals look different on the surface. One is about selling things, the other is about getting along with people, but the fundamental engine is identical. Look at the data, anticipate the future, and then act effectively in the present.
So what? What's the big takeaway here? Why should you care that these 2 random frameworks happen to share a name and a core idea?
Because in a world that is so chaotic and uncertain, the ability to make good predictions is everything. It's the difference between thriving and just barely surviving. And this skill, It applies absolutely everywhere. You want proof? Look at this. A 2023 Gallup report found that only 23% of employees around the world feel engaged at their jobs. That is a colossal failure of prediction. It means most leaders are completely failing to anticipate what their teams need to feel motivated, to feel like they have a purpose.
But on the flip side, when that prediction works, whoa, the results are just staggering. Companies that build high-trust cultures, places where people can reliably predict how their colleagues and leaders will act, they outperform their competitors by a whopping 286%. Good prediction has a massive financial return.
And that gets us to the real heart of it. Trust is the currency of prediction. When you trust someone, or when you trust a brand, what you're really saying is, I have confidence in my predictions about you. The Airbnb team could act so fast because they trusted each other's predictions. High-performing teams everywhere move faster because trust removes the friction of uncertainty.
And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. Your brain has evolved over millions of years to become an absolute master of prediction. Every single thing you do, every word you say, it's all just another piece of data that helps the people around you predict what you'll do next. So the question is, what are you teaching them to predict? With every action you take, what kind of future are you building?